I'm on?
Yeah.
Hello, Internet. This is the Empty Bar Chronicles, or whatever Quattlebaum called it. Does it hear me?
It hears you.
We are live from nowhere, doing nothing. It's nobody, everybody. Hell yeah. Slaying, at the glorious X Saloon on the Internet, where you know, Jose McCall, the runner of the 3 a.m. podcast, Kamchatka's #1 podcast, East Botswana's #1 podcast, number 3 in the region of Indochina, just a guy known in places not here. I'm going to do one last joke of this set, and I'm going to introduce your star, of course, to the legions of the internet who will receive it, alright? Here's a joke I wrote recently, and we're doing it at the mic. So, when I was a kid, I was a bad kid. I didn't go to school a lot. I would ditch. And at one point, they threatened me, and they told me that I had to go to Scared Straight. That was the thing. If you don't fly right, you're going to go to Scared Straight. Now, if you don't know about Scared Straight, it's a program where they take kids to a jail, and then the guards brag about how bad they are at their job. Okay? They're like, these guys are going to do whatever they want to you, and I'm not even going to try to help. I'm very ineffective. Is that what you want? Me to do nothing about it? Right? Like, it's a weird program. And here's the thing I think about Scared Straight is that at that point, you could threaten kids with anyone who's bad at their job, right? Like, you could just be like, you kids better fly right, or we're going to put you on this bus with this narcoleptic bus driver who can't read. And he's like, I'm also colorblind. Will the lights be? Like, you can threaten kids with anything at that point. Oh, kids, watch out! It's Officer Broken Body Cam. You better start reading. You know, threaten kids with anything. You know what I mean? All right. See, that's the joke I wrote, guys. Are you ready for your star of the Empty Bar Chronicles?
Yeah!
Oh, it's not so empty. See, we got a crowd out extra. Make some noise for Mark Plummer!
That's the best introduction I've ever had.
Love you, buddy.
Yay!
That made me feel so fucking pretty just now. Do you guys remember when you were in like elementary school and people in a position of authority would threaten you with putting something on your permanent record? And that shit terrified you when you were a kid, right? Like, what? My permanent record? Permanent means forever. And then you drop out of high school and you realize there's no permanent record when you ask for it. But then you think, man, what are the things that all of my people of authority told me when I was a child? Like, what would be my permanent record? And it would be fun stuff like, smart but doesn't pay attention, doesn't work well with others, doesn't respect authority, loves arts and entertainment, is entertaining, like dumb shit like that. Oh, doesn't live up to potential. I got that one a lot in high school. And I've been thinking about it as an adult. I bet it would be awesome if you, like, I think I'm going to make my own permanent record. And then every time I make, like, one of those life-changing discoveries about myself, you just put it in a permanent record, right? Like, round of applause if you've done mushrooms. Additional round of applause if you ever took a shit while you were on mushrooms. That feels so fucking good, I thought I might like a thumb in my butt. Put it in my permanent record. Might like thumb in butt. And now it's just there. Right? Experiments with drugs. That's something good to put in your permanent record. And then when you go to meet someone, you can just hand them a copy of your permanent record and be like, this is what you're in for. You know, like I realized about 5 years ago that I am built for women and men with daddy issues. Not something I wanted to take advantage of, it just happens to be a running theme in my life. I imagine it's because I'm large and tattooed at a young age. I provide both a sense of safety and rebellion. Something that you put in the permanent record. If you know you have daddy issues, oh, this is a guy for me. Did you guys ever get so high that you tried to buy something that wasn't for sale? Here's the deal, man. I have 2 teenage daughters, alright? And I'm at this fucking clothing store of indescript name. I don't give a fuck what it was. But they're changing out these mannequins. And they're pulling down a man-shaped mannequin, and he's got the biggest fucking like Fonzie thumbs up you've ever seen, right? And the guy disconnects it at the wrist and puts it down. And I'm high, and I look at the guy, I'm like, hey man, how much do you make an hour? He goes, what? I was like, how much do you make an hour? He goes, like $14.75. I was like, dude, I'll give you $50 cash. You let me walk out of here with that mannequin hand. And he's like, what? It was like $50 cash, man. It's like 2.5 hours of work for you. You look the other way while I steal that mannequin hand. And he got so confused that he walked away. It was like, that's your loss. And I just stole the mannequin hand. I put it on my fucking bookshelf. It's just a permanent reminder of like, yeah, man. Like, and it's not like that weak Facebook thumbs up. It's like, It's like the fucking Fonz. You old enough to remember the Fonz? Right? No, that's Quagmire. You guys, I've been jerking off with coconut oil for about 7 years now.
It's healthy.
It's amazing. It makes everything it touches inherently softer. It's a cheap, like reusable fuel or whatever. Like it's easy to get.
Coconuts are so hard.
It's wild, right?
Right.
You know what really fucks you up about jerking off with coconut oil? Like there's plenty of benefits. Like my pubic hair has never been softer. It's amazing. As a fat guy, my thighs haven't chafed in like 5.5 years. That's awesome. That is more epic than you can possibly imagine. I bet I could wear corduroy again. But you have to get like kind of cheaper like coconut oil. If you get virgin pressed coconut oil, it smells like coconut. And at first you're like, oh, that's novel, that's fun. And then like 3 months into that jar, you start getting erections when you eat an almond joy.
Oh man.
Did you ever accidentally get an erection eating an almond joy on a Saturday afternoon?
Can't say
And as
that.
soon as you realize you're erect, you look up at the screen and you see Scarlett Johansson in short shorts and a white tank top. And you just snap one off, because at my age, you try and take advantage of every boner you get. I treat them all like beautiful snowflakes and appreciate everyone I have the opportunity to see. And I jerked off, and I snapped back to reality, and then fucking Brad Pitt's crying in a Subaru. No, it was Matt Damon. Matt Damon's crying in a Subaru. Apparently his zoo is failing. You know how disheartening it is to blow your load and then realize you're watching a Matt Damon movie?
It's like a
All because you ate an
okay,
almond
birthday
joy.
present. Yeah, here, it's great.
It's a chain of events most people aren't ready for.
Bye, have a lovely night, darling.
Bye, have a lovely night, darling.
I know, 'cause I'm hot.
I mean, you're not unhot.
Nah, I'm just a cold-hearted bitch.
I can see that. You look like you're really fun until you get pissed off, and then you know how to ruin people's credit scores without them noticing
I
right
am
away.
I am a Taurus, so.
I don't. She called herself a Ford, you guys. I don't know what that means. You say you're a witch?
No, I'm a Taurus, bitch.
Run things over.
Oh, like a bull.
Yeah.
Oh, is she talking about astrology? My bad. I'm
I
dumb.
know. You good, you good.
Word.
Have a good night.
I'm an aquarium. That's not true. I am a Libra, but I don't know what that means. I know that if a woman asks me what time of day I was born, that's a red flag. You guys ever get so high that you start jerking off and you think, man, maybe today's the day I want a thumb in my butt? But you know that you're jerking off with one hand and holding your phone with the other hand? And then you remember that you stole that mannequin hand. So you go and dip it in a little bit of coconut oil, and you wedge it between your butt cheeks, and then right as you're about to blow your load, you just lean into it and go nuts. You guys, I've been coming out hard since I was like 16 years old. However, you gotta get there, man. That plastic thumb in my butt, it was just smooth enough that it entered nicely. But it was just big enough that it made me question myself. And I didn't know how to feel. And I looked back to see what, like, just to survey the situation. And there it was, man, just covered in coconut oil. Like, yeah, man, we fucking did it. Put it in your permanent record, like stomach butt.
Mannequin. One of those.
Do you guys ever like? Are you pro therapy? I guess is my question. You guys, I'm pro therapy. I have a therapist. I don't see her all the time because I don't need that. But when something's really fucking with me, like she knows how to poke my brain to like kickstart it or whatever. And sometimes if I figure something out all by myself, I'll make a note of it. So I can tell my therapist the next time I see her. I feel like it's a responsible way to approach therapy, right? Like I made a discovery. That's awesome. Put that shit in my fucking permanent record. Did you ever find yourself jerking off? And you realize that you're probably gonna die alone, but now you're okay with it. And you feel like that's like a breakthrough, right?
You're free to explore your own body.
But then you realize that you're harder than you were when you started. And you gotta fucking rub it out, man. And you make a note to tell your therapist. And then when you tell your therapist, you hear her get sad. Like right as you tell her that you were jerking off and had a breakthrough, she goes, oh. And that gets you a little bit hard because you're attracted to disappointment. And now you gotta find a new therapist. You guys, I used to weigh over 600 pounds. I don't know how much over 600 pounds. I just know I maxed out a scale that went to 600 pounds. I had thighs the size of tree trunks. My forearms were so big that I now have what is known as a bingo wing. It's just an excess amount of skin that flaps like a bat.
Oh my god.
You guys, when your thighs are the size of tree trunks, did you know that your nutsack will grow to be able to get your balls away from core body temperature? It will. As big as it needs to get away from the core of those two tree trunks. Did you know that when you lose 300 of those 600 plus pounds, your ball sack stays the same size?
Holy shit.
Like my nuts are nothing impressive. They're just two standard issue white guy balls. But my nut sack is humongous. On a super hot day, like if I take like a hot sauna and then a hot shower and then I'm just naked for a minute, my balls are almost touching my kneecaps.
You should make a TikTok.
I don't think that's the answer. When I got my vasectomy, this is the greatest thing I ever heard a doctor say about me. He went to get my vasectomy and he looked at me and goes, you know, you have an exceptional amount of scrotum. And I said, what? And he said, you have an exceptional amount of scrotum. And I took that as like the greatest medical compliment ever. That doctor knows how big my sack is, and he was medically impressed. Put it in my permanent record.
I know, I saw that.
You guys, as a result of trying to lose weight, like I quit drinking soda and I quit eating at drive-thru restaurants. And I did, I lost about 300 pounds. And I remember being like hitting a plateau where I didn't know what else to do. So I thought, well, fuck, maybe now it's time to see a doctor. And legitimately, doctors make me nervous, so I got really fucking stoned in the parking lot. Like 2 blunts high. And I went in, and the receptionist was kind of cute, and she asked me a couple questions, and I just stand tall, so cleavage is everywhere for me. And then this nurse takes me to the back. She's got like an Amazon figure and there's tattoos poking out of all of her scrubs. And I'm like, yes, this I like. I've got like, you know, 1/4 of a chubby, give or take. And she goes and she like leans in to do my blood pressure cuff. And she's like, Jesus Christ, you reek of weed. And I'm like, yeah, but does that excite you? Because I'm high and I got nothing to lose. And she goes, I'm a little jealous. And I was like, that's my end. If I smoke with this chick off hours, I bet I can fuck this chick off hours. And I got probably 2/3 of a chubby now.
Well, it's all 10 inches now.
No, closer to 6.
He's 6 years.
However, we're going, and I start flirting with her. She starts flirting back, and I start asking her about tattoos. And she starts moving tops around and showing me tattoos. And I'm excited, you guys. Doctor comes in, goes to shush the nurse out of the room. The nurse looks at me and goes,
Did you have a gold around your arm?
Boom, full blown hard on. Doctor looks at me straight in the eyes and goes, let's get the fun stuff over with first. Why don't you go ahead and drop your trousers? Let's recap, you guys. I am high as balls. This medical man of science wants me to take my pants off. And I have the freshest of erections. Fuck it, you guys. I close my eyes, I undo my belt, I let them drop, and I go to my happy place.
What if Kurt Cobain was here right now? What do you think?
The doctor cups my sack. I run my fingers through his hair. We lock eyes, and I just look at him and was like, put a thumb in my butt. It's in my permanent record. Guys, I've been Bear Quantabomb. Thank you for being here. We do this every Sunday.